Well, hello, welcome back to the 112 Stock Euros in Finland. Well, 2 days of qualifying all boils down to this. It's the A-finals. A-final one got a clean getaway with Marcus on pole, stretching away from car 3 of Mika Larilla, biting at the heels of Vesa Ili. And straight away it seemed like the competition was for second and third places, with yellow car 1 of Marcus Mobers showing the same smooth superiority he'd shown all the way through qualifying. But as the race progressed, Vesa continued to hold second place under pressure of white car 4 of Mark Stiles. A few small mistakes from Mark had Mika Larilla chomping to take back his position, and a coming together let Vesa put more distance between them, while Marcus was off into the distance. In the last few minutes of the race, Stiles continued to fight back, closer and closer to Vesa, nose to tail at times, never giving up the chase. The green car behind is a back marker, joining along for the ride. But again, a mistake puts Mark back. But a minute later, Mark's back, determined to get that second spot, with first barring disasters, all but Marcus's already. Then Mika's back. In the final minute, second, third and fourth are doing relentless battle. But then Mark's third and final mistake in the dying moments puts him out of the running. So Ili, Lorena, Stiles, second, third and fourth, back in grid order, behind the Mob Gums master, Marcus Mobers, who never left position 1. A2 and Mobers is off. Not quite the same rocket power he had in the first final to get away. Red and yellow of Vesa Ili certainly seems to pose more of a threat in the opening laps, with car 3 of Mika Lorenen and white Mark Stiles behind him. As the front 3 stay pretty close together, Mark falls behind his countryman Chris Kurzweil in the orange-white Serpent. A few minutes in, Mark's back in 4th and pressuring Mika for 3rd, leaving Vesa to chase Marcus. But the German continues to look flawless. And halfway through looks to take the win and sew up the Stock Euros, while Mark Stiles is back on the chase. He had the pace to challenge for 2nd or 3rd in the first day, but mistakes or control problems repeatedly put him back. While Chris Kurzweil, almost side by side on the straight, just doesn't quite have the power, perhaps, to get past, but the pressure pays off. Up into 3rd, with Vesa still in 2nd and Marcus still in 1st. The Orion-powered veteran, 30 years in the game. He's given a masterclass all weekend long here in Oulu. But it's not over for Chris. The LRP-powered Serpent looks really threatening, pressuring Vesa on the inside of corner after corner. Vesa surely will have expected more from his own race, but sadly this weekend no one can touch Marcus. And Mark Stiles is back for more action. 2, 3 and 4, super close, in a train as Mark tries it. No, he's back, and all of this of course is helping Vesa get away. A few laps more and Kurzweil is back on Ili. Really tight lap after lap. And to be fair to Vesa, he can't speed away, but he's not letting the pressure get to him. Overtaking doesn't really happen on this track, because things like that happen. Vesa gives Chris a little tap back. Marcus is done, and as the horn sounds, finishes his lap to be the new 12 scale Stock European champion. Well, Marcus, I could not gone any better, could it?
Well, actually not, because I won the 6 qualifiers and also the 2 mains.
A lot of people have been talking about how slippery the track is, but your car, I haven't seen it touch a white or red barrier the whole weekend. What's the secret?
My age.
Well, you said this before, but I'm not so sure.
Well, I'm more, the type of guy, since I race RC, not making mistakes. And sometimes I'm a tenth too slow, so maybe it's that, so...
Just finally, the on-point car got all of our attention when you had a, should we say, celebrity driver in the Worlds, Gilles Crosskamp. Has the car changed much since the Worlds?
Well, we changed some small things. Actually, the chassis got a bit softer, and we changed the top deck to have more space. in the car, but since it's actually the same car that we ran at the World, so I really like to thank Paul Ceccarello, who is the owner of On Point, and it's a great success for us. So.
With Marcus already champion, he decides to run a third final just for fun. He pulls away and Mika looks to get past Vesser while Mark and Chris Kurzweil follow. Before long, Chris gets into third to have his turn pressuring Vesser. This continues for more than half the race to no avail, as Vesser already proved all day he can't catch up to Marcus, but he never lets the pressure from cars in position 3 affect him. And on this track, without a mistake, overtaking very rarely happens. And then it does happen. Chris is through, and then Vesser gets back through. You wait all day for a pass, and then there's 2. A flash of Vesser's dominance, and now Mark Styles gets through. So it's a familiar battle, Kurzweil, Styles, and still the unfazed Vesser. And in the dying laps, Chris falls away, and a battle to the line sees Vesser Yili finish second, and Mark Styles in third. Both in this final, and overall.
The spec class went quite okay. Marcus is quite experienced in the stock, so I was expecting him to be pretty fast. But I was pretty happy that I was so close to him from the beginning, because I was concentrating more on modified. So,
well, what we saw through every final was you coming under pressure and not bowing to the pressure at all, just staying solid. Did you feel that?
Yeah, it was. I knew that I'm pretty okay in the speed for the first 4 minutes. But then Styles and Chris always got close to me, and I just knew that I just have to keep calm and keep cool and just driving the line, because they were really close and they were faster in the end. So I just kept my cool, and that was okay.
That's the thing with a track like this. There's not really overtaking, is there?
Yeah, there isn't. You need to make a big mistake or just to make a pressure. Actually, there was a really good overtake by Chris in that lap, but I just overtook at the next corners.
That was quite impressive, actually.
Yeah, because I knew in my head that Chris is super fast in the last 4 minutes. So if I don't do it now, I cannot never do it. So I did it. So
it seemed a little rough, but you just did it.
It was a little rough, but Chris also crashed me out a couple of times. But that was racing.
On pace, I possibly had the second fastest car, but because I started further down the grid than I would have liked, it's difficult to pass in stock, and especially on such a technical track.
It looked like you had the pace to challenge Vesser, but when it looked like maybe you were going to do it, you'd hit the wall. Was there a control problem? Was that with the slippiness of the track again, or just the pressure of being in a final of the Euros?
Well, you've always got the pressure of being in a final. I mean, in the first stock final, I was having a really good run, and then I basically fell to pieces on the last lap, and I went from battling Vesser for second to ending up 5th because I crashed twice in 3 corners. But I calmed it down for the other finals and had good runs and managed to stay reasonably consistent.